Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got quite a nice rack, slightly vowel heavy, but pretty much all bingo-y tiles. I don't think I have a 7 here, but there could be an 8, but I'm not optimistic. However, it's a nice rack in terms of scoring tiles, so I will be playing. If opponent changes, I could play fair, P-H-A-R-E, or Hepar, for slightly more points. Keeping 2 vowels, I wonder if there's a slightly longer play. Now, opponent has played. Do any of the consonants give me a bingo? Do I have... Ooh, I was going to say ephemera, but that would require 3 E's. That was close. This rack plus an M. No, this rack plus an E. No, this rack plus an L. Gosh, there could be a bingo here. I'm not seeing it. The vowels don't look good. What I can do is place a scoring tile next to the A. How best to do that? Well, I think Hepar. 31 points scores the most, setting up a super hot Z spot. And not the greatest rack leave. Can I do any better? Can I place my A next to the D? Well, not in a way that gets rid of an E and an R. Let me put this back. What about a play coming down from the top? No, not seeing anything there. So let me go back to this and risk the Z. Hepar for 31. Well, that could have been worse, given that I kept 2 vowels. Now I'd have alter-wise through R and S. So I'm not seeing a 7 here. But simply playing AW or AWA is going to leave a decent rack leave. And look at this, my W can go next to ED. However, can I get it to play twice? Not sure I can. I don't have anything which goes next to PA. And only T goes next to HO, and I don't have anything ending TW. So I may need to leave that open. And this is going to be a tricky Z spot to block, because a Z play can come down from that spot, or it can come down onto it. And I can't really take out both without an H. Now, only the M available as a floater, and I don't have a bingo with that. $28 for opponent, good score. Veg takes an A. So I could play Our. The rack leave isn't that fantastic, so I will consider scoring more. Do I have anything through HO? And this isn't with a view to blocking the Z spot. I'm just mindful that this is a double-double lane, so could score well. No, I'm not seeing anything. What else is there to consider? So let me have a look at AW. 21 points. AWA, slightly better, I think. AW, because it takes an A and an E, was providing a double-double lane. Placing the A in column 11 still provides a double-double lane, but it's harder to take advantage of. And I'm also spreading the hotspots around the board, which I'd like to do. I am going with this. Wow, fantastic. I draw 2 S's. I have stylets. And Hepar's is good. Awa does not take an S, but Pav does. So I should be bingoing. But will opponent get a bingo or a Z play down first? And there's nothing I can do about ED unless I've got to play through HO. Do I? So I have hostiles plus a T. I have less as a suffix. No, I don't think HO is particularly promising. Now, what about a play in column 11, a double-double? This rack plus an A. So that would be saltiest and slatiest. Is there a further anagram or more than one? I feel there could be. But it's hard to imagine what such a play with an A so late in the word would be. Okay, so opponent leaves alone spots. Now, do I have something in row K? So I have stylets, and Vegas is good. But does stylets have an anagram? Gosh, not that I can see. This is sticking an S out in the open. But stylets for 73. Well, interesting. I draw a K which can go next to ED. But, well, opponent's play of rag has taken out the Z danger because only an S goes in front of hog and nothing goes in front of pab, so that danger has evaporated. I can focus on doing the best I can with this rack, and it's going to be tricky. Although high-scoring tiles go well with vowels, the candidate plays I'm looking at leave a lot of vowels on my rack. So I have koji, although I've not identified anywhere for that. I don't have jokia. Nothing as a double-double through the A. Although I do have joke, but that's not going to score very much. What about... Well, I could just play Joe, except that takes an S in front, so I'm not such a big fan of that. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything particularly fantastic with this rack, but I have a 60-point lead. The board, however, wide open, so that could easily vanish. Awa takes a Y after it. Row E still available as a double-double lane with hog, even less promising than HO. Wow, opponent did have the Z, so maybe rag scuppered him from taking advantage of that hot spot. 38 points, good score. And doesn't provide anything I can take advantage of, I don't think. I don't have any six-letter plays ending A or E, which is a shame. I have no candidate plays in mind. I'm really reluctant to play Joe. Now, what about JIAO? Let me see what that scores. 30 points. That's okay. 24 if I played it in column 12. It does provide a little bit of danger, but not the S hook danger. 2 S's, 2 blanks to come. This doesn't feel best, but the rack leave isn't terrible. K goes well with vowels. But is there a way to play off J and K together? Rag doesn't take anything in front that I've got. I could play joke and ZE. 31 points. Keeping A, E, I. Tempting. Tempting. Because AEI are very bingo-y. If I avoid vowels, then I could be close to a bingo. The danger is that I do draw vowels. Wow. What about playing Jow here? 33 points. And opponent can't get value from the J. My concern about playing in row L is that opponent could easily get 30 or 40 points by playing in row M. Well, he's not going to do that and get any value from the J. If I play Jow above, I am going with this. Pretty good. Fairly balanced. I do draw some consonants through an N. I would have key to mine. And Jow has taken out these floating tiles of S, T and I, all of which are bingo-y. Column 12 is available, but it's only available as a 7-letter lane and not available for bingos ending in S. Now, I don't have a 7. I have Ket Meyer, which would play nicely in column 12, turnover tiles, maximise my chances of drawing a blank. So, what else is there to consider? 3 pairs of tiles. Do I have a 9-letter play? Our opponent's blocked Ket Meyer. What a shame. And only 6 points. Fantastic. So, I thought my lead would be more than that. Only 49 points. That's a bit miserable. So I can still play in column 12, but I'd be placing a K or an M on this double letter square, inviting a high-scoring play in row H, which would also generate floaters. And also if I played make or came in column 12, I'm leaving myself with, well, a vowel-heavy rack leave. So, what can I do that's better? Nothing goes after IS. E. So, 8 and oik. Do I have any plays beginning EK? No, it would then have to go I or A. What about a longer play ending vowel? 13 minutes on my clock. I feel like this is a good spot, but if I do play in column 12, I'm creating a new lane. Marl has completely taken out bingo lane, so it's quite tempting to leave that alone. What can opponent do? Not very much. Now, I do need to do something. This is tricky. What does ale take? Well, it takes an E. Is Pava good? Because if it is, I've got KAE for 30 and a decent rack leave. Not good. That's frustrating. And KEE isn't good. 12 minutes on my clock. Marl takes an S and a Y. What about playing through the L? So I could play Ilka for 16. Horrible score. What about a play through AT? KIS is good. So do I have a play across the top of Jow? K and M can both go above IS and OI. E would have to be in the middle. Nothing works. What about a play down from the T? Not seeing anything. Wow, this is proving a ridiculously hard rack to deal with. And it felt so good. Wow. I'm coming back to looking for a play through the L. So, what about Kale for 16? I think I will do this. This is a decent rack leave. This doesn't provide very much for opponent. I'm sure there were better plays than that. But this is the sort of board I don't like. It's super tight and when you've got a small lead, you're very reluctant to open the board. Well, that massively restricts the options that are open to you. If there are already plenty of openings on the board, you don't mind adding another one. And it's also tricky when you've got a super tight board because you're sort of ingrained to maximise the bingo prospects of your rack, but you may end up having a bingo which simply doesn't play. Now I have good scoring tiles in the F and the M. Wow, good score for opponent. So he hasn't opened the board up massively, just columns 3 and 5, but he is breathing down my neck. I can play foam. I can't get value. Can I get value from the queue? No, I don't think I can. Just looking at plays in column 5 which end in an I. So OFI or OMI. No, I'm not seeing anything. So I have foam, which doesn't feel great because it leaves a vowel heavy rack and it only scores slightly over 20 points. But it takes out the 2 bingo lanes or massively restricts one of them. So I quite like this. Well, surely motif is... Well, is motif better? That's just making it more vowel heavy. 9 minutes on my clock, 44 tiles to come. I'm sticking with foam for... I'm going with motif. There are a ton of eyes to come. And if opponent wants to take value of from a column 4 play, he's opening up a triple or access to triple word squares. I am going with this. And also playing 5 tiles rather than 4 increases the chances of drawing a blank. Now I've got tiles which can go next to this O. But I don't have a bingo. But I'm quite happy to keep the action in the top left. I do have this slender lead. And I don't have a bingo. So what do I have at the moment? I have obey, but I don't really want to put a vowel in the middle of column A. A bingo for opponent would be very good for him. It would put him in the position that I'm in now of having a 40-point lead on a tight board. Motif has killed column 3 in a way that foam didn't, because nothing goes in front of LI. Now column 8 at the bottom, still quite hot, still an H to come and a W, both of which could go next to the T. I don't have any scoring tile which can go on that spot. Okay, so opponent plays fiery, creates a new lane in column 13. Now my A can go there. Gosh, I'm close to nobody. 8 minutes on my clock. And my N can go there. But I don't have a decent play which reaches the double word square. So let me come back to the top of the board. What about playing boy? 30 points, pretty decent. Slightly vowel heavy. Not much I can do about that, but 30 points is a good score. Yeah, I am going with this. Great, I escape being swamped with vowels. I have rondo. That doesn't play anywhere at the moment, which is the danger I was pointing out of having a bingo which doesn't go because the board's so tight. Rondo, I think, takes only an X. R takes only an E, so I certainly don't have rondo on the right-hand side of the board, and there's no other bingo lanes on the board. And rondo doesn't have an anagram. Yo takes nothing in front. Dom is good. but nothing particularly appeals top left. So I do have the D for Z. Now, has opponent given me a useful floater? My rack plus a T. I have the out prefix. 7 minutes on my clock, that's not much. Does the E help? I don't think so. Coming back to the T. Gosh, I thought rotundate, but that's a 9. No, so let me consider a play in column 13. So I can play Duan. Again, looking at the score, looking at the, what are they called, blanks. Okay, I think I'm going with this. I'm short on time. And this interrupts these floaters. Well, I still miss the blanks. Only 21 tiles in the bag, and this is an unbalanced rack. I lead 60 points. So if opponent bingos, I'm still within sight, and I've got a precious S for Zs, and that's the last S. Wow. So what am I going to do with this rack? There's nothing I can do at the top because I don't have a vowel for going in front of B. It's quite tempting to take out these E's. Duan only takes an S. Now, I have yeared. That's nice. 4 tiles in column 12. Will that stay available? I don't think I... Yes, it does. Fantastic. So, 34 points, a decent score, although opponent's scoring well as well. Quite nice. I have niceties in rows N and O. Fantastic. Will that stay available? I have a 50-point lead. If I get my bingo down first, I'll be in a strong position. But will I? Remaining tiles, not particularly bingo-y, but there are 2 blanks, so if opponent's got them, he's probably got a bingo. I have insights. Wow, I have an unblockable bingo. I have insights in column 14, niceties in rows N and O. Fantastic. Well, if opponent bingos and I bingo, then it's still close. But if opponent doesn't bingo and I bingo, I have a decent lead. 6 minutes on my clock, 14 tiles in the bag. So my time position looks slightly less perilous than it did a while back. I think the Duan play was quite risky, but it seems to have paid off. And Insights is quite nice in column 14, although it doesn't get doubled. I get value from the Z, and the C really hampers opponent making a big score in column 15. And Z's doesn't take anything after it. Opponent taking a while, so I am expecting a bingo to come down. So is opponent going to bingo? Let me check the remaining vowels. 7 out of 21. Vowel dry. Wow, that gives me a sliver of hope that opponent isn't going to bingo. But the blank looks pretty powerful with the remaining tiles and the board. A 7-letter S lane and a floating E are both super bingo-y. But opponent, he's taking a while. Wow, he has both blanks, 83 points, great bingo. Fortunately, I can come straight back with my own. Niceties is definitely blocked. No tile can go next to the Z. I don't want to play this too quickly. Insights doesn't play in column 13 because there is going to be a spot in column 15. And does Insights have an anagram? I don't know. I don't think it does. Let me see what this scores. So at the moment I trail by 25. I'm going to lead by 50. Wow, look at this E. Both W and H can go there. But there is absolutely nothing I can do about that. I have to bingo. And this is the only playable bingo I can see. I'm going with this. Well, I draw the H, but opponent has definitely got the W, so he can play new. The bag is empty. Opponent's got 3 N's, which is good news. What am I going to do? Wow, look at that. Neither B nor H goes next to the I. And I can't reach the C, I don't think. Well, I can. Wow, I've got but O. Wow, that could be the play, because I will then be able to go out. I have but O. But that's going to be blocked by new. Rats. Okay, well, this is going to be close. New, 37 points, would take opponent to just 13 points behind me. But he'll then have INNO. And I don't think he can go out. What do I have down the bottom? In, annoyingly, only takes an N and an S. So I don't have a way of playing H and B down there. What about... Yeah, there goes the play. Our opponent's got 9. Well, at the moment, he can go out at the top of column 15. Can he go out anywhere else? 9 doesn't have an anagram. 5 minutes on my clock, which is good. So, what am I going to play? I can't play... I can play hob here. Hub, rather. Well, no. Opponent has got 9 in top right. So if I do get 24 for this, I go to 3, 9, 8. I lead by 37. I lose 10 on countback. Opponent needs 27 to draw. He gets 23. Okay, that's good news. So he can't win top right. Maybe there is some hope. Let me put this back. At the moment, he gets 20 for 9, so I don't have to block this area. Is there a play through RE? And is there anywhere else for Butto? 4 minutes on my clock. And is there just a better play? Wow, this is tricky. I'm not seeing anything down the bottom. So what about board? What about board 28? And that would leave 14 on countbacks. That's a 14-point play. Hub 24. Well, it's the same. I feel there's a play which is better than either. But what is it? Nothing around the left-hand side of the board. Vom takes nothing either side. What about a play over the top of Vergence? What would Hout score? 30 points. And 12 on countbacks. That's an 18-point play. 2 minutes on my clock. Can I extend this by 1 square? I don't think so. So this is 30. This would take me to 404. I would lose 12, which would take me to 392. Opponent would need 29 to draw. He's surely not doing that with 9. Let me just put opponent's hat on. What would I do with 9? Nothing better than top right, and that doesn't score enough. No, I am going with Hout. And supposing opponent doesn't go out, well, at the moment I've got bed in columns 13 and 15. They could both be blocked. I have breed in row N, so I do have 2 outs. Fantastic. And the final score, 393 for my opponent, 404 for me, a winning margin of 11 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game, so close. And I played this opponent very recently. Possibly even the last game, which was super close. Now, it was opponent to go first, and wow, he misses Korma, plays modal. This was my rack. A heap, that's nice. A heap, yeah. In column 7, that leaves a better rack leave than I managed with Hepar. Even though Hepar scored more, but not much between those plays. And a heap would, well, a heap would not have provided this Z spot, which alarmed me. Opponent with the QV combo, not great, plays veg. And I play Owa for 22, and I prefer that to a weight. I think the extra bingo-y tiles are worth more than 2 points. Now, opponent struggling, plays rag, and I have stylets, and that was the only 7, Slatius the only 8 which plays. Opponent's rack, still very non-bingo-y, plays Zax, and this was a rack I struggled with. So G, F10. Where's that? Ah, Pave and Ali. Nice. Okay, I didn't consider that. I played Jow for 33, keeping key, but G, 6 more points, 1 more vowel. Yeah, not a huge difference between those plays, and Jow definitely dampens down the volatility, which I wanted to do. Although opponent miles away from a bingo, plays Marl. My rack, A, 12 came. Ah, Marl takes an E. Wow. So I could have played Katmaya, the play I wanted to make, making Tsar. Could have played higher up, making Marl with an E. Okay, well, all of these top plays take advantage of that hook. I overlooked it and played Kale, so massively suboptimal play. Opponent plays Lickers, and now my lead just 13 points. A12. Ah, well, there's going to be, I imagine, quite a few plays which take advantage of that E-hook, but I simply wasn't aware of it. So I play Motif for 27. Opponent's rack plays Fiery, which fortunately takes out that hook. So now, it's a very tight game, just 15 points between us. Thought about Obey, and then played Boy. I didn't want to open up a bingo lane. And look at this, opponent has 2 blanks from this point in. And a ton of bingos. Does he bingo? No, he plays Chu T, but he has all of these bingos in column 13. Okay, now I have Rondo. Couldn't see anywhere for it. There isn't anywhere. And I play Duan, and I like that. I'm taking out a bingo lane and replacing it with one which requires an S and which provides access to column 15. Plus I like the tile turnover. Now opponent's rack. Again, a ton of bingos. And he plays Pav. So I lead just 20 points. How perilous with 2 blanks on opponent's rack. So I play Yerd for 34. And now finally opponent does spot his bingo. But I'm in a fantastic spot because I'm able to come straight back with my own bingo and establish a 50-point lead with the bag empty. So what could opponent do? Well, he plays now. My rack. N10 here too. Where's that? Ah, through RE for 34. And I get 4 fewer points. Here too would have been nice because opponent couldn't have gotten value from his rack from that spot, so it looks like it would have been 4 points better. And finally, the best opponent can do is 20 for 9, and that is indeed his only out, so I think it's possible I could have played something which would have prevented opponent from going out in 1 and would have been a better sequence for me, but certainly the sequence I found was a winning one, and that is the priority. So, what a game. Another super tight game, always engrossing when that happens, and fortunately I scraped over the line in first place. So many thanks to my opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.